Welcome traders to this video analysis on the Forex market. One of the things that we're looking at is the euro dollar and how the weaker news could impact that, but also the pound dollar, dollar yen, and AUDUSD as usual. First of all though, this online material here is developed for a global audience. Please take into account that the info in this session may not be suitable for everyone. To get the corresponding info on charting conditions and other details, please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact an appropriate entity. Also, trading foreign exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk and it may not be suitable for all investors. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that, and this webinar is for educational purposes only. We thank you for your attention, and with that said, before we take a look at the charts and the Forex market, please take a look at this webinar schedule that we have here. We have the weekly Forex recap on Monday always, Tuesday and Thursday live trading lab, and Wednesday we specifically look at strategy. That's on Wednesdays. And Wednesday we have also a low volatility trading. So good things here to come. Hope to see you in one or all of these webinars. First thing on the list is this euro dollar. This is the weekly chart. And we can see last week was more or less a small bullish candle, but a pretty big wick on top. Doesn't say much at the moment. I think important lines, for me at least, in the sand are the 135. A break below would mean a follow through of this impulse here, this momentum we see. Obviously, we had 6 weeks of sideways move, roughly speaking, already. So that could be a sideways consolidation prior to a fall. And we could see that maybe the continuation like that if we do break below 135. Now, that would be not necessarily immediate short. I would, however, consider that a bearish environment below 135. We can see support levels at 133, 131, and 127.50 on this weekly chart, these magenta lines. Those would be the natural support levels that one would have to be careful of. However, will we break below 135? That is the question, because we're still staying above it, and this could be building on a kind of support level, and suddenly we could see maybe a spike above. So for the opposite side, if this turns out to be bullish, a break maybe above 137 could be crucial for knowing that the bulls are back in control. So 135 and 137 key levels here, in my opinion, on the euro dollar. Let's zoom into the daily chart now, and here we can see that the consolidation is taking quite a while, bouncing back up and down between a tight range. These daily candles are not all too big as well, so just waiting to see if we can break this trend line, for instance, and these horizontal levels for more guidance. If we do break to the upside, we could put this fib on and be careful of the 50 and the 61.8 and 78.6. Those could be resistance levels. And if we break to the downside, we can pay attention to these fib levels, which are the targets -272 and the -618. This is the pound dollar. Nothing really much changed compared to last week's video, in the sense that the cable also went sideways and is making this consolidation between these higher orange lines here. And now I'm drawing green lines on top of that. So basically that's a consolidation. Is that a consolidation from upside? In my opinion, there is that chance and a higher probability that it could happen. But we never know. If we break the bottom here, then obviously something else is going on and we might be making a bigger consolidation. If you consider the entire trend, which obviously on the daily chart is certainly up, look at this beautiful blue uptrend channel. And we had most recently a break of that correction indicated by the orange line to the upside here. We have the green arrow. Are we going to follow through on that upside sometime soon? That's the question. We had some upside here and here and here. So looking for the break of the tops for more upside. What kind of targets could we see? Well, we could see, for instance, if we put a fib from here to here, maybe the 172.50 or 40, and then 173 basically could be the targets to look for. So that's the continuation side of things. At the moment, considering the daily chart and the 4-hour chart, very strong up. Plus, if you look at the hourly, once again, this is just a consolidation. For the moment, I would consider the upside the more interesting side for myself, at least for my trading. And you can see that we bounce off the 50 fib here. However, of course, if price starts to break below this 50 fib, the bullish structure is out of the window, and I will be cautious to neutral it again. And if we do break to the upside, I'll be looking for the follow through to those targets. This is the AUDUSD daily chart, and you see a bit of a mixture here. We had a good fall, followed by a good rebound as well, in fact, and price has gone sideways on this AUDUSD. Now looking for more clarification. Let's zoom into basically this consolidation and see if we can read anything. And basically we can see that we're at the top side of this range. We tried to break out, but that was slammed to the downside. And to me, looking for the breakout yet again, just like the other pairs, in fact, either to the down or upside. In this case, either way would make sense, contrary to the pound dollar, which is more bullish of structure. Like the euro dollar, though, this could break to the upside here, or we could see a further fall down to the bottom of that range. If we do break to the bottom of the range, be careful of 93 here and then 92. If we do break to the upside, then of course we can look at the weekly chart and say, okay, what is the next resistance that we could be careful of? And obviously the 97.50 top is something to be aware of, but maybe also the 88.6 fib at 96.30. Last but not least, the dollar yen. We're looking at the 4-hour chart, and we had this pretty impressive impulse momentum, and we've seen correction and downside ever since. We bounced off the 61.8, the 50 fib, the 38.2 fib, the 78.6, and most recently also the 88.6 fib. So is that the bouncing spot finally for maybe a bit more upside? We'll find out soon enough, but overall you can see pretty consolidating at the moment. What could happen though, because price is pretty close to this 180 bottom, is basically a retest of this 103 top. That's the only thing that could potentially interest me, a retest there of upside. But it's very choppy, so the entire currency pair here is not too appealing. So that wraps it up from my side. Thank you so much for joining this video analysis, and I hope to see you in one of the webinars sometime soon. Cheers.